So here we are again with Miss Karen Reed and more antics from the CW. Oh my goodness. You know what? We are all here. Hello there, my darlings. This is Lady Zelda with Seeing Crime, and today is another day with Karen Reed. It is September the 16th of 2025. And now the Commonwealth of Massachusetts wants Karen's passwords for her phones. Although it has been reported that she has one phone, they have another. Regardless, they want the information from their phones. And they say that there needs to be an independent taint team, whatever, to review these phones. Now, as we know, they already tried to indict Karen and Aiden Carney and were unsuccessful. The grand jury, I guess, had a brain that day. This whole thing reeks of intimidation and harassment, in my opinion. Now, going forward, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an Indian chief. I'm just here as a tarot profiler because we want to deep dive into what is happening. Why is the Commonwealth of Massachusetts so fixated on this situation? And I have an idea, but I want to see what the cards have to say. Why are they so fixated on nailing Karen Reed? I think we all know the answer. But we're going to ask the cards for the answer. Now, this is Special Attorney Mr. Cosgrove. We know Cosgrove from Turtle Boy Aiden's case. And we heard, too, that today the mega motion was supposed to come out in his case. If it doesn't come out today, it will be out tomorrow. I'll tell you what, this is getting ridiculous, but I think the mega motion is going to give us a lot of insight as to why they are coming after Karen. So let's get started. We have a lot of familiar people, suspects on the table. We've got some cards over here. We've got the dice. The moon card represents Karen. That is her significator card because she is a Pisces. We've got the dice. We've got a number 3 here. I just want to see how many times the 3s come up. We have the Mythic Tarot, we have the Kipper, the House of Zelda, we have Cartomancy, and I have maintenance lawn people outside that have just started. If they get too loud, I'll pause and we'll come back. All right. Let me know. Let me know what you see. I know it's unfortunate, but the lawn needs to be taken care of. If you hear that, my apologies in the background. I just don't like to start and then stop abruptly. Let me know what you see in the cloth, my darlings. And you know what? This time, I'm not going to start with the House of Zelda. I'm going to start with the hidden What Lies Beneath Oracle. So, spirits, guides, angels, I would like to know, what is really behind this? Why is this happening? Okay. We already know. Check it yourself. Okay. That means make sure I get the facts right. Make sure that everything is correct. Getting played, manipulation, and lies, and especially control. We know who that's coming from. We're going to put that here. We're going to put that here. The mowers are getting closer, but we're going to keep going. So I want to know who is involved and why. And I mean behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. I want to know about Cosgrove. Okay. Yes, it is serious. We're going to take 2 more of the House of Zelda. Okay. And a plan. All right. Help from the cosmic unknown is coming. We'll put that here. What's on the bottom of the deck on this one? Keeping a promise. Oh. Now that makes this whole entire thing interesting. Let's make a little more room here. Who's keeping a promise to whom? Expectation. Got it. Oh, I'm going to tell you the narrative, all right. I'm going to tell you the narrative for sure. I want to get the cards laid out so we can tell the story. The 6 of Wands and the 5 of Pentacles. King of Swords, that is a judge type. Okay. My understanding, they will be having a hearing, the Knight of Pentacles, and you can see this knight is not in a hurry. Tell me. Now, here's what I want to do. They're getting louder, my darlings. I may have to pause. You won't know it. You'll see it. Yeah. Let's pause. No. There they go. Oops, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, here we are. Here's what I want to do. I want to assign the King of Diamonds to Cosgrove. That would be his attorney card, okay? So the King of Diamonds would be Cosgrove in this. And then we'll be able to tell who the other players are behind the scenes. And we're going to pause. They're right behind me. I'm not going to touch anything until they leave. Here we are. Thank you for your patience. Now, you haven't seen the lapse, but it's quiet. I wanted to make sure of that. All right, so here we are. Attorney Cosgrove, we are going to ask for the assignment of the King of Diamonds, because this is leading to something that is possibly very disturbing. Here we are. Oh, it's already disturbing, my friends, but let's just see. Okay, he's not come up yet. Probably a good thing. If you hear a little noise in the background, that's Riley eating out of his little bowl. All right, he has to sit by mommy. All right, my darlings, this is what I'm seeing. And keep this in mind. There are 5 people immediately behind this situation. You can guess who they are. Higgy is not involved. They feel that a promise was made to them by the prosecution, by the CW, to nail Karen and to nail Aiden. Now, while this is not about Aiden, it's indirectly, he's here. And let's not forget about the federal documents that were given to the prosecution that also involve Karen, that involve Proctor and Miles King and the Walsh case and several others. So there's a mix of some things going on here. But a promise was made to these people that Karen would be nailed any which way possible. Now, I'm going to say this. The CW, Hank Brennan abandoned this idea because it was now handed over. They're gonna try to pass Karen over to the other side of the aisle with Aiden. You see what they're doing? So Hank is out of it to a certain degree. He got paid, I believe, and he's gone. But the plan was, there's a burning desire to nail Karen. Now, we already know this. We already know it. But I want to dig down a little deeper because this serious situation could get them a great fortune. And in the end, they're also looking for that. Who? Those 5 people that are behind. I'm not going to name the families, but I'll let you come to that. And please try not to put too many names in the comments because they get filtered out, and it's better that we just don't for purposes because there's a lot of trolls out. All right. This poetic justice means, and I want you to know something. Poe is looking right at this woman of expectation. Who is the woman that we knew that was looking out the window to see if John O'Keefe was coming in? You know who that is. There's poetic justice coming in her direction, in her way. She has a great expectation. She's built this up for the O'Keefe family. You see what they're trying to do? They're coming at Karen from all sides. They want to get her on a federal. They want to get her on this now witness interference. It's also intimidation, but they tried that once, so they've got to skirt around a little bit. But this whole witness, now remember, I'm not a lawyer. This is based on what I know of explanation of the documents. Please fact check me, please. Make sure that you understand what the truth is about this. But from my understanding, this could branch out a little bigger. It could broaden. It may not stay compartmentalized into a little cup that's holding the witness intimidation. It can be witness interference / intimidation with conspiracy tagged on and with maybe a few other legal labels tagged on her as well. Because what do? When you're desperate, you just throw everything at somebody and let the chips fall where they may. And at this point, that's kind of what they're doing. CW, is doing to Karen. Now, I'm going to pick these up. We're going to put them here to the side just for a minute because I want to talk about they knew Karen won. They knew she was a champion. And in all intents and purposes, she was acquitted twice. They made her go through another time again, and she was acquitted for the second time June 18th of 2025. What a harrowing time for her. Horrible. But they want this to go in front of another grand jury and another judge. Now, Look at this. This is the Five of Pentacles. What they want to do, you see, they're coming at her in several different positions. They want to break her financially so she can't fight this. But I'm going to tell you, they already know that these attorneys will not allow her to have to depend on a public defender. That's just never going to happen, especially in the state of Massachusetts and as far as they have gotten. She is now on probation with a misdemeanor of OUI, and that is for 1 year. But this card is amazing, this King of Swords, because you see the king, these are thoughts. This sword, this is legal, because you see there's a balance there. So this is going before another judge and maybe another one on top of that. They're trying to interlock with Aiden, because if they get Karen, they get Aiden. If they get Aiden, they get Karen. They try to break her financially, and then they want to sue her civilly in order to get any monies out of that. And I sure hope that they are going to file whatever third-party culprit. Can they do that? I don't know. Is it too late? Possibly. Don't believe it's called a third-party culprit, but a third party where Karen can actually countersue and name these people of the families that they would have to come in and get depositions. Please ask your favorite legal beagle on that one, okay? But at the same time, the two families are also interlocking with the O'Keefe family. So we have just a rolling pot of hot oil, and they just literally want to tar and feather Karen. Why do they want to do this? Because they want to hold Karen responsible for something, because that means that the focus is taken off of them as far as the unaliving of John O'Keefe. And yes, I have talked with him lately. Haven't talked about it. Yes, I have talked about it. I will talk about that. Not now. Their thought process is to break Karen any which way they can. Now let's talk about these cards. This is a summer timing card. So she was acquitted in the summer. This is a autumn or a fall timing card right here. Are we a little out of, yeah, I got you a little bit out of plane here. So all of this is now starting to heat up, and we are just days away from the fall. The next 30 days, probably 45 days, are going to be very significant. Before the second week of November, we will definitely know a lot more in this case, maybe some of the other cases, maybe some other things that are happening. Now, these are people with the prosecution's office. I want to say they are the ones who are doing the work, because I don't see that Cosgrove can. Am I allowed to say this? I think I am, because it's just my opinion. Mr. Cosgrove was brought in, I believe, because they probably couldn't get anybody else to do this. And he was retired. and they could probably tell him what they wanted to accomplish. And he's so happy to be in front of the bench again and on the floor, so to speak, that this is, the last 15 minutes of fame that he's going to get. So he wants to do a good job for the CW, and that's what he's doing in his mind. But there will be poetic justice coming for Karen. Now, I will tell you, there is a loss coming for the CW. Karen will have to sacrifice some things. Here, this 9 of clubs tells me that Karen knows exactly what she is worth. And she has a clear mindset of a clear path that she wants to go. And definitely there will be help coming from the cosmic unknown. But I don't think it's the unknown. I believe it's a divine power. Just like this little card here, this 6 of Wands. I have said from the beginning that both Karen and Aiden have a divine purpose over them to where they are champions, to where they have been picked. I mean, think about this. Think about the story of David and Goliath. The young man, 17 years old, had big bad brothers, but it was David that was chosen, the smallest of the small. And not only, if you read on a little bit, just a little tidbit, in the book of Samuel, when it talks about David and Goliath, and after Goliath was conquered, later on, when David was king, he went back and took care of Goliath's brothers. And yes, he did have brothers that were giants, and yes, they were troublesome. And I look at it this way. Karen took care of what she needed to. Aiden is taking care of what he needs to. And I believe that they will now be going back with civil suits, with as much as they can to finish the job. They got the first phase over. They got the second phase over. We are now in the third phase. We will now be also entering phase number 4 with all these lawsuits and everything else coming about. Let's draw a couple cards here. Well, my darlings, that is a Sagittarius card, and that is the significator card for John O'Keefe. We're not forgetting him. He needs justice. The CW is the one saying, oh, well, he's the one, blah, blah, blah. Everything will come swiftly. And I will tell you that the CW, the Commonwealth, thinks they're just going to be able to get away with whatever it is that they're trying to pull. And they're not. Ace of Swords. It's all about timing. But I will tell you based on, and let's draw some more cards out here. I like the Cartomancy. They tell me a lot in these court cases. There we go. There's an interference and a lump sum of money. Look, the Autumn card again. All right, all right. So I can see where this is going. Since Karen was acquitted on the 18th, there's the 5 of Diamonds. That's coming up a lot, and so is this 8 of Clubs these days. Karen will have a win, but it will be a small win. What do I mean by a small win? Well, I think she's just going to have to keep fighting there for a little bit. You're going to see some things, but I'm going to tell you the CW will not stop until a judge is able to effectively look at the Commonwealth and say no more. Now, is it the judge that brings charges? No, it's the Commonwealth. It's the DA's office. But if a judge turns it down enough, they're going to get, they being the CW, will get the idea, look, we can't get away with this anymore. Are they going to stop? Karen's in a position where she's going to really now have to start coming out like the little honey badger barracuda, start fighting, because here we go with more money. Here we go with another lump sum. But they are going to interfere. This 3 of spades is not a good card. It is an interference card. It is a card of which tells us that for the next 60 days, they will be inundated with legal documents, legal research, discovery, etc., etc. And into the fall, there will be a decision that will be made. But I'm going to tell you, my darlings, 2026 will be booked up with Karen Reed's legal and into 2027. It's very unfortunate. But the CW will expand this. And how will they expand it? Well, they're going to try to find a particular, they're going to try to, okay, this is my opinion, I'm going to tell you. From everything I see, they're going to try to cherry pick and seriously cherry pick a grand jury that they know will indict Karen. Cherry pick. So, be prepared, my darlings. I don't see it happening, but that's what they're trying to do. And they've been trying to do it the entire summer. This chill Knight of Pentacles is basically standing by and saying, okay, all right, hold on, let me get my checkbook out. That's pretty much what it is. Look at this, it's on the bottom of the deck. Look what turned here. The Judgment card. And does that just not look like the bulkhead? Does that just not look like that stairs going out of the basement of 34 Fairview? And look, here's the medical, the caduceus. But the Judgment, and look at the waterfall in the back. So we know that there's a judgment coming. There's some things coming. But I like to call this the discernment card. Moreover, judgment. A discernment of where and of which they can see what they need to see. There will be someone coming about. Now, I'm going to tell you, the election of 2026 has a very good chance of changing things, because then things change. But look at this. This is telling the energy of John O'Keefe, and this is telling Karen, use your gut instinct. Doors will open for you swiftly. You have a potential here. You've got the gut instinct within you. You've got the ability to see. Use your intuition. This is a fire element. So no one has to build a fire under Karen to get things done. She is her own spark. And look at that little fellow there. This Temperance card. Let me tell you a little bit about this. The Temperance card amazingly enough, is a card in which is usually assigned to anyone who is in the military or a law officer. And the fact that this is Officer John O'Keefe's card tells us that his energy wants balance in this. So much so, let me grab this card underneath here, if I may. Where are we? So much so, there we are, that we have the scales of justice. Do you see the red? I love the red wings on this angel. It's all about compassion and passion and love. The loyalty that he had to his department, his position, his job, even his family, his niece and nephew. But the balance is required. And you see this symbol on her tunic. The three angles, or the triangle, the three sides of the triangle, is a balance in spiritual, in the physical, and in the material. The wings going off the frame of the card means that there is a divine presence, a divine power over everything that you're seeing unfold right now. God is not done with Karen, nor with Aiden. They are regular people that have been assigned this task in life, and John's energy knows it. She has 1 foot in the water, 1 foot out. That is, again, balance, just like the water going from cup to cup, but it is also the balance of the conscious and the subconscious mind, knowing there is a goal and there's going to still be a pathway. Some people think this is a sun, but it's really the crown and glory. And Karen will have that one day. The irises blooming into something more. But the other thing here is this beautiful halo around this angel that basically says there is an enlightenment. That is a Sagittarius. That is John O'Keefe. And yes, he still has a lot to say. And yes, he has named names. He is still very much energy-wise around this case. That's all I've got for today, my darlings. I want to thank you so much. Please give me the bump. Subscribe. We're going to talk more. I wanted to share all this with about Karen. Gear up. It's coming. There's more coming, my darlings. Karen will be okay. But the CW's playing their games again, but now they're using Cosgrove, in my opinion, as a little pawn to do their dirty work. We're going to see what happens with that. Thanks again for being here, and I will see you very soon. Bye for now.